everyone, welcome to Inside Dakar and to day 8 of the Dakar Rally 2024. Today the crews have finished the 48-hour chrono stage in the empty quarter, and it's been said by many experienced competitors at the Dakar that this has been the toughest challenge they have ever had to face. For Carlos Sainz and Lucas Cruz, Matthias Ekstrom and Emil Bergqvist prevailed on this enormous test, finishing P2 and P3, and they're still holding on to first and second overall. We're going to find out all about what it was like out there in the empty quarter. There's plenty of stories to tell a little bit later on, but first a look at the route for today. After spending a night in the empty quarter with minimum provisions, the crews will complete the second part of the 48-hour chrono stage today. It will be another tough day in the dunes as the crews will tackle the last of the 547-kilometre two-day special stage. They will then make their way to Riyadh, where a well-deserved rest day awaits. The 48-hour chrono stage is 765 kilometres in total. And we will now head out to the bivouac in Riyadh. Hi Stefan, how is the atmosphere now that the crews have returned to base?
You're looking at me. I'm quite relaxed at the moment. It's the most relaxed position you can take in our bivouac, and we are still waiting for the drivers, co-drivers, and especially for the cars. All the mechanics are well prepared. They will work the whole night to bring the car in a proper fit, and when the drivers arrive, I'll be back with our two leaders, with Matthias Ekstrom and Carlos Sainz.
That sounds good, Stefan. Yeah, today marked the second half of the 48-hour chrono stage, and our crews are sitting P1 and P2 overall. So let's have a look at the highlights from today. Team Audi Sport enjoys a 1-2 lead in the overall classification halfway through the rally after a strong performance of the electrified Audi RSQ e-trons in the mighty dunes of Saudi Arabia's famous empty quarter. After spending the night in tents in the middle of the desert, the 48-hour chrono stage restarted early this morning at 7 a.m. Carlos Sainz and Lucas Cruz regained the overall lead early on in the first part of stage 6 yesterday and kept the lead this morning, finishing second, just 2 minutes behind stage winner Sebastian Loeb.
Yeah, very interesting stages these last 2 days, the 48 hours. Especially the first one was very long, very tough. Two were similar, but the first day we were driving like, 6 hours, something like that. Very difficult. Many broken dunes, many dunes, shop dunes. So it was difficult physically and mentally to keep always looking for the broken dunes, and easy to make mistake. But we are happy we passed this very difficult part of the rally. We are in the rest day.
Matthias Ekstrom and Emil Bergqvist had been one of just 3 crews who had reached breakpoint E on Thursday. They started second this morning and found themselves suddenly opening the stage when the car of last year's winner, Al Attiyah, came to a halt at kilometre 530 with technical issues. Nevertheless, the two Swedes finished the most demanding stage of this year's Dakar Rally in P3, defending their second place in the overall standings.
Yeah, we had a good stage. I felt immediately after the first couple of dunes it will be a good day because we changed the setup a bit from stage 5, and I was actually more confident straight away. So it was a long day for sure. I passed a few cars, so that was a lot of fun. But then also I saw my friend Yacine was having a big accident, so after this I was a bit careful. Then camping out in the middle of nowhere with Nasser and Gerlan was also very special. And then today we just continued and just had one time we got stuck over a dune. Except for this, we had a very good and clean stage.
Stefan Peter Hansel and Edouard Boulanger were also able to finish the stage despite their issues on the previous day. The French Audi duo lost 3 hours in the empty quarter. They were out of contention for the overall victory, but will be able to fight for stage wins and support their teammates in the second half of the rally.
The good news is that we have 2 cars in the front, so this is really good news. So I'm really happy for Carlos and also for Matthias. And now for us, the only thing that we can do is to help the other crew, the team, to get the better result as possible.
The tactics of starting stage 6 far down the order definitely paid off for Carlos Sainz and Lucas Cruz. P3 for Matthias Ekstrom and Emil Bergqvist despite losing some time this morning. Stefan Peter-Hansel and Edouard Boulanger lost 3 hours and 2 minutes after their bad luck on Thursday. It's a 1-2 lead for Team Audi Sport halfway through the 2024 Dakar Rally, with Sebastian Loeb 30 minutes behind in third position. The gap to all the other competitors is over 1 hour, but it is still a long way to go. Yes, there's still a very long way to go in this rally, and the perfect way to continue the show now would be to speak to the two guys who are P1 and P2 overall, Carlos Sainz and Matthias Ekström. Over to you, Stefan.
Yeah, Molly, you're absolutely right. P1, P2, Carlos Sainz and Matthias Ekström lead the Rally Dakar 2024. But we have to first to talk a little bit about the 24-hour stage at 48-hour stage in the desert. How difficult was the stage mentally and physically?
I think it was quite a big challenge because we were, especially yesterday, I don't know exactly the time, but 6 hours and really rough conditions, very difficult to read the dunes, very difficult to pass some dunes, so a lot of stress inside the car due to the time and the nature of the stage. I think since we are here in Saudi Arabia has been one of the toughest, if not the toughest.
You're starting from behind, even from behind Matthias. Was it easier for you to follow him?
Well, we took the decision to make the strategy to do not start in the front, and I think it was the right decision. Obviously, when the day was coming, we were coming closer to the leader cars and less cars in front, but at the end of the day, I think has been correct.
The organizers announced before the rally starts that nobody will know the results during this 48-hour stage. Did you heard anything? Maybe in the bivouac in the evening?
It's impossible.
That was, I think there were still some fans and locals and some media, and when we were at the refueling, actually I got the full update. So I knew that Carlos was in front just before we left the refueling. But also with the system we have, you know the running order, the gap between the cars, you can calculate very good. If you pass a car, you know that you caught in 3 minutes, and then you know the start list and so on. So you have a very good idea. It's more difficult for example, Carlos, who was so far back, but luckily we had some nice people telling us.
Did you expect in front of the rally that this might be possible to catch up such a big gap?
I think everybody knows in the dunes you can make really big gaps if you start far back, but also in a normal stage, if you start further back, you can make these big gains. But with P7 that I started, I did not expect to be able to drive all the way up to Nasser, because I thought from, 7 times 3 is 21 minutes. It was more than I expected that I should manage. So for Carlos, I understand he took it more easy to have even a bigger gap, but in the end we were quite fast, and that was for sure a positive.
How was the night in the bivouac?
That wasn't so romantic. It was very dark and boring. My neighbor on the one side was Nasser, and on the other side was Shishiri, and it was only us three in that how to say camp, because Carlos started later, so he were one camp earlier. And in the morning 5:30 they came people and woke us up, and we had to drive again.
Okay. How was your night, especially with all the other drivers and
Yeah,
the food situation?
our camp was a little bit busier. Yeah. We have more cars and more motorbikes and all that. It was quite nice. I must say it's good to do it, but I think I must say well done to ASO for the fantastic stage during these 2 days. But I think for me, sleeping one day without shower and without anything, I think one night is enough. I hope they don't get very, very excited and put more of those in the future.
What kind of food do you have? Because they told us you have to prepare your food by yourself. That means it could
we
be
have a box,
it could be ravioli in a can.
Military box where we could warm certain things and eat, but I think I was a bit lazy to warm it, so I took it cold.
So you arrived very hungry today at the airplane?
No, I have already eaten.
What's your forecast for the rest of the rally?
We are still in race day, still 1 week to go. I think we need to keep the same strategy like from the beginning. It has worked for us. I think Audi is in a strong position. And if you ask me for the rest, I will keep the same and try to look only in the day after and try to manage in the best possible way. But I think it's clear that we are in a good position, and to be here on the rest day, first and second, is fantastic.
So they have to work tomorrow for us on the rest day, talking to all the journalists. They're not lying in the whirlpool like anyone expect that. But it's hard work for all the guys here in the bivouac. And I'll be back in a moment with Lucas Cruz, and then we talk a little bit about the questions from our users. Thanks to you, we're all back.
Thank you very much to Stefan, Carlos and Matthias. Despite the huge challenge of the 48-hour stage, it does also sound like they had a little bit of fun. Now, to achieve great success at the Dakar Rally, there are a lot of people behind the scenes doing hugely important work, and they also have to be very passionate about what they do. That is what today's behind the scenes video is all about.
For me, the team is the core. The team is the essential of the success in the Dakar Rally, and the team spirit is the base of it all. Especially in difficult situations, you have to rely on a team.
The team spirit is very important because obviously you have to work together to make everything work. Every part is important, from the mechanics to the engineers.
We make all together. We build up the bivouac, the tents. We go together to the work when the car is damaged.
Sometimes when you're under stress, maybe you feel a bit of pressure and can become difficult, but to me the spirit is very high.
When everybody moves on the same, it actually leads to something which we need, and which is actually the win.
For the team spirit, it's very important to have a good conversation.
For the 2-hour service, of course, it was really nice to see everyone work really fast on the cars and then help each other when one was a bit behind.
If I have to do it on a scale, I would probably say 9.5.
8 or 9?
I think it's a 9.
9, 10, yeah.
The more setbacks we had, the more challenges we had to face, the closer the team come together. And this is for me great to see and gives me a certain confidence for the oncoming days here, where we will face new challenges, but I'm pretty sure with that team spirit, we will challenge it all.
Well, it looks like team spirit is very high at Team Audi Sport, and now they also get to enjoy these fantastic results so far at the Dakar Rally. We're going to head out to the bivouac in Riyadh, where Stefan will be answering those questions that you've been sending in, and he is with Lucas Cruz, the leading co-driver so far at the rally.
Yeah, Lucas is the new #1 of the co-drivers at the Rally Dakar 2024. Lucas, how was your night together with Carlos in the bivouac?
One in one tent, another in another tent, and no, it's nice.
He told me that he don't prepare his food, did you?
Yeah, I prepare it.
Yeah?
For both.
What kind of food do you have?
There are two options. The package of the organization is a military package with, I think it's rice with...
Ravioli?
Eh?
Ravioli?
And I take another thing, it's a pasta, and I eat pasta with Carlos together. And the other it's some biscuits and some soup. But it's much better. The other one...
Was it enough for a proper sportsman?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have some questions from our viewers. And the first question is, how warm is it inside the car?
In the temperature inside of the car, it's good because you have air condition, and the temperature of the body is a little bit more down, or less cold than the normal conditions. In the dunes, it's good. It's not a very hard day for the sun, and for the body it's okay. The most difficult is the movement of the car and
the half of the rally is over. We have everything on the road. We have stones, we have sand, we have dunes. What's your favorite ground during a rally?
the camper, the bed. No, outside the feeling is nice in the dunes because the feeling is the same of the sea, the waves, and you go like this, and it's nice. It's not nice when you keep one hole and the full suspension is in compression, and after the next is your body. But it's nice, this feeling. Also in the twisty roads with gravel, slide the car and the control of the car in the corners. It's nice feeling.
Next question was, how can I become a rally co-driver? I think I don't ask for me because I'm too old, but is it possible and how does it work?
Well, no. For me, the co-driver, the job on the co-driver, the first thing is the passion of the motorsport. Inside of the car, it's very difficult to do a good job if you don't like it, this job, no. And basically, inside of the car, you need to help a driver make easy the life inside of the car and also outside, no. One normal day, only you need to explain what is the next junction and what is the next danger, and also very strict in the distance because you are in advance. Normally it's one ditch or one jump, go quickly and you arrive very fast, and after the accident or the movement of the car is not the correct movement.
Okay, thanks, Luca. The next question was also for you. What information co-drivers receive for navigation and how do they process to find the right route? But you don't have to answer. We prepared a Dakar wiki, and I think this might be much easier to understand if you watch this.
Today we are taking a closer look at the roadbook. The roadbook is the key for navigation. It includes the day's route and is only given to the participants 20 minutes before the start of the stage. The roadbook itself is a tablet located on the co-driver's side, where they use it via handheld remote control. The driver focuses on the stage and has odometer and direction screens for orientation. So, how does the roadbook work? At the top, the GPS information is displayed, while the actual roadbook is displayed underneath that. To show the basics of how to navigate, we find ourselves at the start line of a fictional 8-kilometer stage. Firstly, the roadbook has many different symbols that appear. For example, here are the DSS symbols that show the start of the stage. These symbols are normally in French. So, let's get going. Now, as the roadbook picture shows, we are turning left at the tree. This is a good time to look at the basic elements on the screen. Inside the GPS part, we find the total distance, the partial distance, the speed limit, the number of validated waypoints, the next waypoint's number, the next waypoint's name, and the vehicle's current direction. Then moving down to the roadbook part, where we have the distance of the current note, the distance travelled since the previous note, and the tree, an example of many different symbols representing objects in the stages. Now, as we carry on in the stage, we find a fork in the road. The blue lines represent the route to follow, while the black lines indicate any other directions the road may have at that time. And then in a corner, this yellow block with a number represents the compass bearing that needs to be followed, aka the cap that shows the direction. Now we are approaching a waypoint, one of the virtual GPS points that the participants must pass through. Here we see it marked in blue with an M because it is a masked waypoint. This is an example of the many navigation waypoints. On the right, this little number shows which waypoint number it is. The different waypoints each have a specific opening radius around them, here shown with the blue circle on the screen. When the participants enter this space, a blue arrow appears in the GPS part. This indicates the direction they need to follow to the waypoint while also seeing the distance to it counting down. In addition, the waypoint also has a validation radius, the red circle here, and this is where the participants must pass through in order to validate the waypoint. Any missed waypoints result in time penalties. Next up, we have some rocks on the stage. The big exclamation marks indicate danger, and the CX symbol in the column on the right is the code for rocks, one of the many different codes that the co-drivers need to keep track of. Here we also have an interesting feature for the cap. The MOI symbol is short for average in French, and this tells the participants the average direction that they should follow. Now everything turns orange. That is because we have arrived at a speed limit zone. These areas can be for when participants enter towns, dangerous areas, and so on. The little DZ symbol indicates the beginning of the zone, while the speed limit is shown on the right-hand side. This specific speed limit zone is for a checkpoint, as indicated by these purple symbols. These are occasions when the participants need to stop so that an official can stamp their time card. And now we're on our way to the end of the zone, shown by the little FZ symbol and the classic speed limit sign with a line through it. We are on the final stretch, arriving at the finish, which is represented by the ASS symbols here. So that was a short 8-kilometer stage, giving you a small taste of what it is like to navigate with the roadbook. Just imagine doing this for hours on end during the tough stages. What a job the co-drivers have at the Dakar Rally. Definitely not something that I could do. Today marks the end of the first week of the Dakar Rally. Can you believe it? Tomorrow is the rest day, and we will be back with a lot more from the bivouac in Riyadh. See you then.